What's going on YouTube? This is Country Coder. I want to welcome you back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you to the channel. I hope that you'll enjoy the content I have for you. In December of 1941, a couple of days after the bombing on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese actually invaded the island of Guam and took control of it for 3 years. It wasn't until July of 1944 that we actually took back control of the island of Guam. And so in today's video, I want to take you to a couple of locations that are concerning the World War II in the Pacific as far as us coming back ashore. In this video, I'm just going to take you to the ASAN Beach, the Japanese command post, and also the ASAN Beach Overlook, which is kind of in just a little small area. There's a different locations around the island of Guam, but because of time constraints, I'm just going to take you to those 3 locations. So let's get over to the ASAN Beach and we'll show you around. I know last time I was here, this wasn't as high up as far as the grass is concerned, you know, but you actually see the beach from right here, and we're actually looking at the ASAN or ASAN Beach is where we're at. So, but let's keep walking around.
This right here, it's called breadfruit, and if you cut it open, it looks like bread on the inside. It's really weird, but you have to eat it right. I tore it open one time. I think it was bad. I don't know, but it just looks like bread. Matter of fact, I might be able to open it with my knife. Let's see.
So this is just another little lookout point.
Actually, I have the wrong fruit. I can't think what that one's called. There is one up here that's called breadfruit, and I found it one time. I really wanted to know what it is. But either way, cool.
Well, you two, can you tell us what fruit that is?
Find some more off.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what breadfruit looks like when it's not ripe yet. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't think it's breadfruit. Oh, I was right. Okay, it is breadfruit. I found one that's a little more ripe, but it like
Pulls apart like bread.
sort of. What I had was like super ripe, I guess. Before, very dry. Let's see, I don't know. I think that is breadfruit. Ah, vindicated. Okay, so these right here. I found one of these. They look kind of like pineapples once they get bigger. Like they're bigger than like a usual pineapple. But we were hiking at Tarzan Falls one time. There was one that was like this big,
Oh wow.
and so that's what they look like when they're little. I didn't realize they were Indian mulberries though. It says an unpleasant smell. It doesn't really smell unpleasant or whatever it is.
Well, that may be called limeberry, but I know us in Mississippi, we call that shrubs.
Yeah, I ate some last time. It didn't really taste like anything. I don't know if you came up for this part.
Huh?
There it is. It's kind of, well, it's green right there, but anyway.
So what do you think about that, YouTube? Looks like we got a little bit of rain coming from that direction. Hopefully we don't get too wet. One thing about 1941, when the Japanese took over this place, if I'm not mistaken, we only had like 500 troops here. And whenever the Japanese come in from this direction, you know, from the north, they come in from the south, and I think one other direction, and they had like 1,000 troops or maybe more than that from what I was reading. And one little section I missed as I was walking up, I guess because I was trying to get to the top, catch my breath, is this little area. See, this right here kind of goes into the little pillbox they got up here. So, I mean, you think about it, this is kind of almost like the Battle of Normandy, you know, where our troops were just kind of a sitting duck there in the ocean when we was trying to retake the island. But you know, I mean, from what I was reading, we bombed this place for several days on end, you know, almost non-stop, and that's kind of how we was able to retake the island. So, all right, walk over here and you can see, you know, it's kind of, you can see right there, it's kind of like it was there where I was doing the intro to Guam, where, I mean, it's a straight drop right there. So here's the pillbox. I'm sure that I'm sure that all these trees wasn't there, so I mean, you can actually see the ocean pretty well. And here, let's go inside.
Turn your light on. Yeah, I want to see the difference that camera makes with the white.
All right. You can see where the gun turret used to sit right here. And then that's part of that cave that we looked at, you know, up there at the top. This is probably where it come down to, is right through here. So spin around where you can look, you know. And that's what they were looking at, trying to defend this location. So you remember, YouTube, I told you that they bombed the place for, you know, several days, if not, I don't know how much they bombed it, but you're still finding these old bombs that didn't go off all over the island. And so they kind of warn you about it. They got two little monuments over here. Let's see. Walk around. See, it's pretty good, pretty wide around here as far as the walking track they got. Once again, you know, it's right there on the beach. that's pretty cool that you can go out there and scuba dive and snorkel around and actually, you know, go down there to where that sunken vessel is, or landing craft. Before we get to the cave, I forgot that right here it had 2 bombs. I think one right here, and then right over there was another one. I'll put a picture right up here where you can see them when I was here a couple years ago. But I mean, they were pretty large, as you can see from those pictures. So we're walking up right below where we were earlier. You know, we was up there hiking earlier in the first part of this video, where you could look out, you know, and see the whole entire beach and everything. But at the bottom of it is one of these caves that you can, I think, go in still. You know, this right here was the little pillbox that we went in. So that was pretty cool. Well, YouTube, I walked around here a little bit, but I can't find where the cave entrance is anymore. I know at the very top, you know, they had it blocked off, so they may have this sealed off because it's just gotten so dangerous to go inside. But I think I've got a few old pictures that I'll put up here, and you can see, you know, kind of what I saw in the cave if, you know, I could have got into it. So all right, we're going to go up here to this little route that I found on the internet that has a few more stops along the way, and so we'll see you at the next stop. All right, YouTube, here we are at the second location. We're at the Japanese command post, and just pulling up. It doesn't look like it's going to be very much, but at least let's see what we can see as far as inside this command post. All right, so let's see what this says. It says it's a pre-war stone quarry used as a defensive position by the Japanese Imperial Army, July 1944. Apparently this used to be a stone quarry that the local Guam used to use. Can't really see nothing on the nothing out there, so let's see if we can see anything over here. So as you can see, I mean, it's all barricaded off, and it's all locked up, so you can't really see anything in there, and you know, you can hear your echo, so I don't know, but supposedly this was the Japanese command post during the re-invasion of the island. So all right, let's get on up here to the third location for today's video. All right, YouTube, here we are at the third location for this video, and that's the ASAN Beach Overlook. So let's walk around and see what all we can find here. The War in the Pacific, 1941 to 1945. Get a even clearer view of the beach over here, and kind of the little drop off we got, you know, as far as the mountain side here. So this is, you saw just in that other little picture that, you know, it's talking about this Benzani charges where, you know, they just kind of wildly attacked, and, you know, it's kind of natural of the Japanese back in that time, you know, as far as the, you know, suicide plane that they, you know, used and everything else. So this over here is this AGOT is another location that I'm really wanting to try to go to and show you around. So let's go on up here. Guam, 1941 to 1944. You know, like I said, during the time that the, you know, we lost the island and Japanese invasion, and then in 1944 when we took the island back. So, oh my word. Oh my word. But curious to, you know, kind of read around and see what this is talking about. So this is talking about the memorial for Pearl Harbor. So this is the Chamorros that were, I guess, stationed in Pearl Harbor that passed away during the attack. Man. So this talks about the attack when the Japanese were attacking, kind of the, you know, the occupation, you know, kind of how they were treated. And then talks about us, you know, when we took back the island, how, you know, we got them out of the bondage, I guess you could say, that they were at. So this was, I'm gonna say, the group of people that passed away when we were occupying the island before the Japanese took it over, because I mean, we only had like 500 troops here, and you know, when the Japanese invaded, they invaded with, you know, 1,000 troops or more from, you know, several different locations on the island. So and then it talks about, you know, the soldiers that died trying to reclaim the island. And this is the people of Guam that passed away from right here down to over here whenever when the Japanese were trying to invade it. So this right here is the number of people that were affected during the Japanese occupation of Guam for the 2.5, 3 years that we did not control the island. That's a lot of people, y'all. A lot of people. I mean, this right here just kind of takes my breath away, honestly. So let's walk over here. And so these are talking about all of the locations that a battle occurred here in the Pacific as far as the World War II is concerned, and number of casualties. It's crazy. Total killed here on Guam is 21,000. And then of course, the bombing on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 226,000. And the Battle of Okinawa, 280,000. A lot of people. Like I said, it's pretty interesting how they were pointing toward those locations, and also the number of miles it is. Alright YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, whenever I come around that corner, all those names on the wall just kind of took my breath away. I mean, that's a lot of the Chamorro people that were affected in just 2.5 years. So it's ridiculous, but unfortunately that's just part of war. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this ASAN Beach Overlook and even the ASAN Beach itself. I think it's got a lot of information, and share this with some of your friends, especially some of your World War II friends or World War I friends that enjoy just history in general. I think I'm presenting enough history information that they should be able to get something out of it. So until the next video, always take the scenic route, and I'll see you then.